And so we begin. Good evening, everybody. How are we? How are we? Let's see if I can adjust that a little bit. There we go. Can you all hear me okay? Lucky 13, good afternoon from Los Angeles. Los Angeles! Georgia. Beautiful, beautiful. I think on the last one I was having a couple of issues with my mic because I didn't select the right one in my in the stream. Because it tries to use the onboard one on my laptop, and I never know why. I'll figure it out. So how are we? How is everyone's holidays? Christmas things? Who's eating too much? Quibbles. Oh, so recently they've started doing these plastic bottles with the caps, but the caps flip on the side of the, so it scratches your face when you're drinking it. Just trying to avoid that. But. Remember to hydrate, kids. Lucky 13, getting over sickness, so no appetite yet. Well, I wish you well and all the best for at least the end of this year, which is in a matter of 4 days' time. So you've got 4 days to get over it, and then you can start afresh. Oh, big boy's coming up the stairs. Hello. He's so nosy. Did you want to say hello? Come on, hop up. Hop up. Hey, come here. Hop up. Good boy. This way. No, what's this? He's been eating like a king recently. He's had... What have you had? You've had more chicken than I have. Beef. You had some beef. You had some gammon, or ham, as it's known in the States. Haven't you? You've had eggs. He eats like a king. He eats like a king. He eats better than I do. Jamal, or Jamal? Is that Jamal? Welcome. I think this is your first live, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. No, Jamal, he's an Akita, a Japanese Akita. So originally from the mountains in the Akita prefecture of Japan. The emperor during the time of World War II, so in around 1939, the the emperor at the time ordered for all dogs to be executed that were not part of the war, that were not good for the war effort. So unless they were a German Shepherd or anything similar, what are you doing? They ordered them to be executed. But the guy who was responsible for what is now known as the Mitsubishi Corporation hid four Japanese Akitas underneath a like a wooden shelter, and then after that managed to breed them once the war was over. There was two gifted to Helen Keller in 1937, and she dubbed them angels with fur. Only I have the dopiest one that's available. You don't care, do you? And if you go to Shibuya Station in Japan, you will see the statue of Hachi, or Hachiko, as it's better known by. A dog famous in Japan for being extremely loyal to its owner. The owner was a doctor of some kind who passed away, and for 9 years, I believe, after that, the dog waited at the station for the owner to come home, despite not knowing it would never return. So if that doesn't show you what love actually is, you know. So yeah, little bit of history. I did a lot of reading before I even got the dog, so. So what's new, people? What's new? How's your weeks? I know Lucky's been getting over sickness. You put another comment in there, didn't you? Let me scroll up quick. I want us to lose weight, but not like this. Got to be careful how I ask. Oh wow. So I'd imagine that you're using a lot of energy right now as well, because you're trying to get yourself better and trying to keep yourself awake at the same time. So rest. If you need to disappear, please do. Don't stay on my account. I just listened to a wonderful video by Will Donahue about how dogs remind us of the divine nature of reality. I'll share in the community. Oh wow. I think I glanced upon that some time ago. But the message I got from it was, dogs will teach us things about love that no other person will, or animals in general. Some just have interesting characters. Odin's more of a, if I were fit, I will sit kind of dog. So you'll find him in some really obscure places. I caught him under the stairs when I got in from work the other day. So yeah, I hope you're all hydrating. I've got tea and water. I wanted to start because I received a question from one of the community members in school. He can't make it today, but he asked me this the other day, so I thought I'd share it as well. So the question was, every now and then I get the fleeting thought of being worried about my SP with somebody else. So we're going to take a little walk down the SP road. But I try to handle that the best way possible, and sometimes worry that it will manifest the opposite. I guess more just wondering recommendation of dealing with that. I've seen videos on negative thoughts and fears and such, but I don't feel there's too much touched on sadness and how that can maybe affect things. Sometimes just get a little worried. So my answer to this was, the way it often works is it will take the path of least resistance. So by worrying or having that fear and letting it become dominant, you may find you manifest it. However, so what if they do end up being with somebody else? If you already know your end, then that doesn't matter. You just have to align with that end. So to have sadness is an actual thing because when let's say the relationship will take a hiatus, because there's no disconnect, there's no real separation. So you don't really separate. You just have I call it a hiatus. You may have a different name for it. That's fine. You will mourn the present. So sadness is fairly normal from time to time. But so long as you don't let that become you, you can then take the steps to make yourself into who you want to be. Put it in effect like being in a pottery class, as it were. So you kind of sitting there with a spinning wheel and your hands around it, and you're shaping it, you're molding it. That's you. That's you. And like Sean says, everyone is you pushed out. So the world will mirror what you believe of them, believe of yourself, and frequencies are involved as well. So if you are not aligned in such a way that will bring that person to you in that manner, then this is the path that you may find it takes. And as stated there, a reunion often involves a third party, because they have to go down that little road, down that little side road, down that little alleyway, and go, actually, this one smells like shit. I'm going back there where the good stuff was. So sun just came out, but after a cloudy day today. You're paying taxes for the sun. Wow. Jamal. I really need to change the font on this so I can see the eye better. I can't get my SP out of my head. What do you suggest? Find something that takes up a lot of your time. Now it's having your SP as a dominant thought from time to time, in my opinion, is okay, but it depends on the kind of thoughts and the feeling behind it, because it's the feeling that it's often the feeling that manifests. So if quite often you're feeling pretty shit about it, then you're gonna bring more of that into your experience. So it's essentially the same as a job, for example. If you're feeling shit about a job, and you go, I want a new job, this one's shit, you're gonna feel shitty about the next job. And then you're gonna go, I want a new job, this one's shit. You're gonna feel shit about the next job. So that being said, you kind of have to bring your own vibration up, bring yourself up to a point where you go, this isn't the place I want to be, but I'm going to make the best of it. And the same kind of frequency will apply. The same kind of frequency will apply in an SP situation. So you may be on your own for now, and you may not be getting the love from another, But to paraphrase Neville, life makes no mistakes. It will always give man what he first gives to himself. So in this case, that will be the feeling of love. If you want that same kind of love that you had, you first have to give that to yourself. And there are going to be 1,000,001 ways to do that. So the best advice for you is to find one which works for you best. If you can't get them out of your head, find a new thing to get in there. If you've got any hobbies, they're always a good shout. So for me, it's playing about with engines. Anything with an engine and wheels, I'm there all the time. It doesn't matter what it is. You can give me an old steam train, put that outside my house, and I'll be there all day. Ronnie, welcome. Happy holidays. Not so light reminder for men to learn how to fight. Yeah, because if you don't want to get your ass beat, then learn how to kick some ass. And it's a good way of putting your thoughts elsewhere as well. And I've always seen study a martial art, because martial arts for me was a way of mastering myself. So I knew how my body worked, how my breathing worked, how my mind worked, and what I needed to think of next. Quite often maybe in a fight situation, you kind of got to think 2 steps ahead, maybe 2 steps ahead. So I did kickboxing, I did judo, I did taekwondo, I did kung fu, and I spent 4 years doing Shotokan style karate, which I went to many national competitions for. The last year I went, I got disqualified for excessive contact. But learn how to fight. They teach you how to fight so you don't have to. But it's also a good way of channeling the right energy in the right places. Or even just go to the gym, you know. Take a long walk, go touch some grass. Yeah, so if you got 20 guys, they're probably not going to have 20, but if you got 20 guys coming at you from this way, that way, every direction, like the elevator in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it goes in all different directions. You got guys coming over there and then coming from over here. You're going to want to learn how to punch that one and then kick the guy over here at the same time. Give this guy a nosebleed. Give that guy, I don't know, a black eye or something, and knock his ass out. Do a Chuck Norris and roundhouse a guy. Don't do that randomly, please. I don't want to get anybody arrested. It reminds me of a conversation I had some time ago. My exact words were, "I made some bad decisions. Don't worry, I didn't kill anybody." I had to throw that in there. Don't worry, I didn't kill anybody. Lucky's got Bob the punching bag. I would have thought you would have kept a P like I don't know, Paul the punching bag. So it's a bit of a play on words because you go, oh, Paul punching bag. But yeah, if you're thinking about your SP a lot, it comes with time and practice, because Rome wasn't built in a day. Find something else that takes your time. So I don't know, collect stamps. Collect coins. Something like that. Anything that puts you in a good place where you can go, this is me making myself happy, as it were. Oh, Hazel's just joined. Hi, Hazel. I've missed you too. Thanks for coming. I hope you've had a good Christmas, or the best you can at least. I drank that tea a little too quick. So yeah, it's not a case of distracting. It's a case of allowing thoughts to be, but not dwelling in them. It's not bad thoughts. Okay. So, despite whether the thoughts are bad or not, you'll put in a energy into that, which is often perceived as resistance. So, quite often you may find there could be any example of any time in your life where you thought, I'd quite like that. And then you've just totally forgotten about it because you've not applied any resistance to it. You've allowed it to come to you. Lo and behold, you've gone, oh shit, there it is. SP who? We need some random SP names for this channel, I think. So we've already had, was it Charles and Rachel? So we're gonna have I don't even know. Thank you, Jamel. Hope that's helped. Feel free to shoot any more questions if you do have any. Jeffrey, because no one's going to be scared of Jeffrey, are they? Take my hat off, it's a bit warm in it. See, this is why I wear a hat. I'm having a bad hair day. I'm having a hair day. Exactly. So Lucky said when I stopped caring about what SP was doing and focused on me is when he came in hot. Happens when you least think about it. You got to be good with it, good without it. Welcome, Bonavie. Nice to see you. I hope you've had a good Christmas. Got 4 days to the end of the year. And a friendly reminder. I've had that there forever. Power of the hush. Anyone who has shared a conversation with Bonavie will know that she is currently the Queen of Hush. we'll be chatting and she'll be like, "Oh, this happened." I'm like, "What? I didn't know about this." You weren't supposed to. So yeah, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. As per my last email. So we got Jeffrey for a male. We need a female one now. I'm gonna note these down. Oh. Lucky says I've shared a room with her. Trust me, I know. Well, we're having a good conversation about pizza last week, and it turns out that we actually agree on good pizza toppings. So I'm quite happy about that. I feel quite honoured in a way. But I didn't know that. B Dub, welcome. Happy holidays to you too. I hope you've had a good last couple of days with family, friends, or however you have spent it. That's what we got. Oh, we going with Paulina. Okay. There's nobody named Paulina on this channel right now, is there? I don't want to piss people off. But yeah, just to remind you, Jamel, that when you aren't thinking about it, when you aren't worried about it, when you don't really care about it, indifference. There's in my mind, there's a difference between being indifferent and being nonchalant. Nonchalant is you don't really care, but in such a way where you're going to be like a bit arrogant about the outcome. Whereas indifferent is, either way, it's okay. Because don't forget, if you're placing them on a pedestal, you think they're going to be doing more than eat shit and pay taxes. There's a comma between eat and shit, by the way. They probably don't eat shit. And if they do and you're happy with that, that's on you. Like that's not my business. Ronnie has joined. Did I say hello to Ronnie already? If I didn't, hello Ronnie. Hello Ronnie. What have I missed? You mean you guys had sourdough and I wasn't told about this? You guys had sourdough without me. I'm disappointed. I'm almost as disappointed as I was about Chris's tea comment. Yeah, we're going back to this. It ain't all that, she says. Commas matter, of course they do. Colons matter as well. Colons matter as well. A colon can completely define a sentence. So, for example, Jane ate her friend's sandwich versus Jane ate her friend's colon. That's how powerful the hush is. You don't need to know about the sourdough. Hey Marcus, welcome. I think this is your first live too, isn't it? First time I've seen you here. Welcome. Hope you've enjoyed your holidays so far. Okay, I'll share. XSP sent me a Merry Christmas text. I just looked at the ish like WTF. Oh wow! Congratulations. You see what I mean? When you stop worrying about it, that's when it comes in. Jamail, this is your example. When you stop worrying about it, when you stop thinking about it, when you stop caring about it, it's when it comes in. Question: how do you structure your day for success? How do I structure my day for success? Well, I've got quite a hefty routine. So at 5 o'clock every morning, the time is irrelevant, by the way. But in the morning when it's still dark, I get slapped in the face by my dog because he wants feeding. So the first thing I do is thank him for slapping me in the face for waking me up before my alarm, because there has been times where I've slept through my alarm before. So that's where it begins. That's where it begins. That's where a successful day begins, I think, when you manage to wake up in time to get everything you need to done. But the first thing I do is, give gratitude. Give gratitude for the day ahead, and for the rest that I have received. Occasionally, from time to time, it's not as much as I hope for. However, there is nothing stopping me from getting more later on. Following that, I try and visualize the day ahead. It takes 5 seconds, if that. Just visualize having a good day. For quite some time, at the beginning of this year, the first thing I did when I woke up is said to myself, today is a good day. And that was where that started. Every day I went, today is a good day. At the time, I was in a job I didn't want to be in. My vehicle had decided to no longer function, and I just thought, you know what, today is a good day. Yeah, I still had other ways of getting to where I needed to be, so it wasn't the end all be all. So those are the main things that I do to set myself up for that day. I mean, if I've had a day that wasn't so great, I try my best to revise it. Again, I sort of visualize a revision. But the moment I walk through the door, when I get home, I spend about 10 minutes meditating, and I actually use Sean's self-concept subliminal for that one. The one that was it the 13-minute long one? Because that gives me enough time to release what I need to release. So yeah, self-concept. That subliminal is worth its weight in gold. So if you haven't listened to it, go find it. Shameless plug. So I don't meditate every day anymore. I meditate 3 times a week, so I make a point of doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Only this week's been a little bit different because I've done half days at work and then came home. So I've been home about lunchtime, but I still make that time at about 5:30 when I finish work, to take that 15 to 20 minutes is all it takes. Make sure you hydrate. Make sure you hydrate throughout the day as well, because that's always one of the routes to success. Did you ever see who was I thinking of? Did you ever see Arnold Schwarzenegger dehydrated? Answers on a postcard. Brittany has arrived. Welcome, Brittany. I hope you're well and you enjoyed your holidays. Bonnevie, whoa. We won't have that blasphemy in here. Although I do remember in a group chat where it was mentioned that tea has water in it, and the response to that was, so does bleach. But no, we won't have no tea blasphemy in here. Chris wants you to send her tea. You're gonna oh, you're gonna get me in trouble. You're gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna send her a box. We got boxes like really like this big. They're quite small, and I'm just gonna put a little post-it note inside, going from your favorite Brit. From your favorite Brit, and I'm gonna send it to her, and I'm gonna get one hell of a phone call. Hey, will you send me this? This ain't shit. I know, but it's different. It's different if if someone else sends it to you. Like I know you got it from Amazon, but they do the smaller ones. They do smaller boxes than the ones that you manage to find on Amazon, because the Amazon ones do the really big boxes. And we do like a tiny box. It's got something like 20 tea bags in it or something like that. I went to the supermarket that we have local to me. When was it? Was it last Friday? And they do bulk bags. So they do a bag, and it's got 5,000 bags in it. That would last me all year. It would last me all year. Her birthday's 2/21. That's the 21st of February for us Brits. So you are a Pisces. Am I right? My zodiac knowledge is not that great in terms of dates. I do apologise. I'm just waiting to see blasphemy in capital letters now. Tell him my business. Pisces. Anyway, to be serious and add to the discussion, I'm doing some shadow work and it's kicking my ass. Yep. That's what it's designed to do, because it's designed to bring out emotions and recollections of experiences that brought on those certain emotions from time ago. Usually when you dig up old traumas and things like that, or seemingly traumatic experiences, should I say. And it's a way of actually processing those emotions that you may have previously pushed away before. So when you feel it again, it's almost like you've got a burning sensation at the top, across your shoulders and sort of along your chest, as it were, at times. Doesn't happen like that for everybody, but sometimes it just feels tight. And I mean, the times I did it, it made me feel tired. Because it takes a fair amount of energy, like because essentially what you're doing is you are being honest with your former self and your current self. Like this, this is what happened. This is how I felt about it. And this is what I did with it at the time. And it sort of reminds us that some of the emotions that we go through, it's almost like I call it an emotional reset. It's like hitting the reset button on your emotions. But then it's also being armed with the knowledge. Being armed with the knowledge that you know what those emotions are for. Whereas at the time it happened, you may not have understood, or at least not have understood so well. So it's essentially you're gathering two parts of yourself to have a conversation with each other. And yeah, it is really uncomfortable. But it's once you've gone through that and you've done it, I find it quite relieving, and it's some really good stuff. I did a live with Jamie. There'll be a replay of it from a few weeks ago where we talk about what shadow work is. Which you already know because you're going through it. But there was we did a little session on the live as well, and it was fairly mind blowing. Although I didn't want to go as deep as what I probably could have done, because we may have been here all night. I'm here about 3 hours at the best of times anyway. Hazel, I've struggled this week to keep on form, but I'm proud of myself considering what's going on, not back home, but putting things in place to help me keep my mental game strong. Hazel, you're doing your best, and that's all you can ask for. On the days where you can only give 70% and you still give 70%, you give it your all. And that is something to be proud of. Of course, it's always going to be okay. Hey Sheila, happy holidays. Hope you've had a good Christmas. The grief, guilt, shame is uncomfortable. And that's where you can then begin to forgive. First, forgive yourself for, going through that experience. And then forgive anybody that may have wronged you in that process. It's liberating. It is. And that's where you can begin to become the change that you wish to see. This lemon and lime water is like liquid crack. I could drink that stuff all day. It's been 3 weeks since I last consumed an energy drink as well. Go me. Yin and yang. Yin and yang. How many people we got? 10? I'm seeing 23 views. I don't know if that's 23 people in here. But still, I'm grateful for you all being here. Thank you for taking time out of your afternoons, evenings, mornings. Might be morning in some places. Favorite energy drink? Favorite energy drink. See, I go for the sugar-free ones because some of you may not know, but I am also a type 1 diabetic, which requires me to moderate my food and drink intake as well as inject. I have to inject myself with insulin. Fun fact. So I'll go for the sugar-free ones. It used to be the cherry-flavoured Relentless, although I quite like the sugar-free Monsters. So at the moment, I think it's the peach one. Monster over here do a peach one, which is sugar-free, and they call it Peachy Keen. So I think that's my favourite one at the moment. Every time I hear the word peach, it reminds me of Face Off with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. Peach. I could eat a peach for hours. That's not how he sounds, but having a serious discussion, not favourite drink time. You're all arguing in my comments. I'll leave you to it. It's fine. I'm not getting involved. All right, what we got? So a friend of mine did a last minute flight to up north, as we call it, and she was just letting me know that she's landed okay. So, because I worry about my friends all the time. That includes you guys. I'm a Cancer. I nurture my relationships, be it platonic or otherwise. Did Sean just call me by my full government name? Oh, well. Am I going to have to separate you two? Am I going to have to put you in timeout? Can I put my mods in timeout? Can I actually do that? I'm going to have to Google this. Ah. you you are both shielded from timeout. So you cannot directly put a YouTube mod in timeout. Unless I do this. Hang on. Oh wait, yes I can. Oh, it's because I'm using streaming software. If you use streaming software, you can. Their moderator status will be automatically removed before the timeout is applied. So unless you want your tea privileges taken, cut it out. Or no tea for a week. I'm waiting for Bonavie's response on that. I nearly lost my water to that response, Christine. Put me in that. I will put them in timeout. I appreciate the offer, but I think I'm going to see how they go first. I think Odin the Allfather has spoken. I've got an interesting fact about Odin, the Norse god of war. I'll get to that later. More healthy drinks and food for your health. Absolutely, Ronnie. I've made a pact with myself, and I went to the store about an hour before I started this live because I wanted to get some snacks. And usually, while I get crisps or potato chips, as you guys call them, and occasional sweet treats, like really small ones, I went straight for the fruit this time. So I chowed down on coconut and things. Okay, so boom. Now, favorite technique to use. My favorite techniques, visualizing because it's easy and you can do it at any point of the day. Subliminals overnight because you literally don't have to do anything because your ass is asleep. So, I got into scripting a little bit as well. Um, but I find I'm trying to force myself into being a really good mood in order to do that. So I stopped doing that for a little while. I still do a little bit of scripting from time to time, but I'm going to be honest, I've misplaced the book that I do my scripting in, so I need to find that before I continue. There's probably a reason for that. Um, so yeah, it's mainly it's mainly meditative state ones more than anything. Affirmations make me feel sick, so I don't affirm 9 million times a day. Kiss the local oak tree. Put a pumpkin in the ground for 10 weeks, and then dig it up and wonder why it's rotten. I don't drink moon water. Don't put it in a jar and bury it in the garden. Um, I don't soak my gloves in gasoline and wipe my face with them. What else is there? What else are the really obscure ones that I've heard? Uh, I don't catch a feather and spin it around my face about 5 times. And yeah, I don't do white offerings or sacrifice to a random god. By the pearl. Bluetooth tech was named after a king of Norway, I believe. Ah, no, Denmark. I should know that because a lot of my family are from Denmark. So I have Scandinavian heritage. Ah, okay. So Bluetooth technology was named after a Viking king. No, I didn't stutter. Viking king, um, named Harold Bluetooth. I wonder if there was an Oscar Brown tooth as well. But yeah, I don't have a fave. I use different ones at different times depending on how I feel. That's good. Ronnie says, yeah, for healthy snacks. My focus now is raising my frequency and vibration to joy, contentment. I find it's quite simple. Reading my magic moments list, I'm guessing. Blowing bubbles. Um, Yorkshire tea is on your magic moments list, and I am not wrong. I'm just waiting for the response on that one. Reading my magic moments list. Blowing bubbles, rubbing Gray's belly. He's asleep, so there's no chance. So those of you that don't know who Gray is, it's short for Grayson. That is his government name. and that's Chris's little dog. He's a sweet little thing. T is on a magic moments list. Thank you, Lucky. Thank you. I know you've seen that list. So I'm taking your word for it. I'm taking your word. Oh. Why'd that grin off your face? I had to. Okay, so here's a question for you guys. If you received gifts over the holidays, which gift that you received made you feel the most blissful? Hmm? And I know what Christine's going to answer. It's tea. Oh wait. So let's go. Which stream are we on now? 10. Yeah, we're on 10. Which stream are we on now? 10. Yes, we're on 10 now. The gift I gave myself permission to rest. That's a good answer. I like that. Thank you, Lucky. That's a good answer. Tea. See, I told you, tea. My greatest gift was given to me 45 years ago. My son was born on December 24th. Oh, wow, Christmas baby. Christmas Eve baby. So, whilst Santa was delivering presents, you had a present of your own. That's amazing. That makes your son a Capricorn. So yeah, happy birthday to him for 3 days ago. So many happy returns. Many happy returns to you, Jamal. Yeah, everyone wish Jamal a happy birthday or happy returns. Or put an hour in the chat. No, not hour. Put a J in the chat for Jamel's birthday. Goodbye, Bonavie. I'll see you soon. Thank you for coming. I think this live tonight has the most people in it, to be honest. So thank you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for appearing. Thank you for being a fly on the wall. And this one will be the final one of 2024. So the next one is 3rd of January. Jamel, I'm going to remind you of something. But no, this, you know, this is a safe space. So if you guys want to share with each other, then you're more than welcome to do so. I'll co-sign on that. You know I will. New moon on the 30th, just in time for a new moon. New moon, just in time. I England very well. Just in time for the new year. New moon, new year. Same joke as me. Anyway, we'll be right back after these words from our sponsors. Do 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 do. 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 Hi. Time for a new chair, I think. Probably hear this one squeak. Yep, yeah, I'll sit on the pickup. So I've had this chair since 2016, and it's lasted through 3 house moves, 4 desks, and I think I've had a hefty change in body mass index about 4 times. So it's time for a new one soon. Wealth lottery in the States, $1 billion right now. Oh wow. I think the most we've had is the Euro Millions, and it was 93 million. And I can't remember if somebody won it because it was so long ago. But I don't really play the lottery. It's not the kind of money I wish to spend. To some, it may seem an investment, but in my personal opinion, it's gambling. And the one and only time I've gambled in a casino, I left because I was 35 English pounds, which is at the time I think it was about $40 in pocket. So I had more. I had that amount more at that point when I left than I did when I went in. So it was at that point. Nope, I'm out. I'm just seeing if I missed anything. Yeah, so I answered the one about subliminals. I do like a good subliminal though. If you haven't heard Sean's, another shameless plug, I do recommend you go and listen to those. You can even play them in the background. I'll tell you what, they are great on my Google speakers. I can play them through my Google speakers, and I've got 4 in the house, so every room I go into, I can hear it. They actually help me fall asleep sometimes as well. Ah, interesting. So, Lucky has asked, let's talk about. Let me rotate this because. There we go. Lucky has asked, let's talk about gambling and such. If money is energy, which is true, is that low frequency money that we should avoid, or do we assign the value to it? That's a very good question. Let me think of a good way to answer that. So I think the low frequency kind of money is money that you're spending and wishing to win out of some form of lack. So let's say you've gone into a casino because you've had a bad day, or something's happened in your life which you're not too happy about, and you started playing the lottery because it makes you feel a bit better. So that's the kind of that's essentially a low frequency. So I personally would avoid going into casinos for those reasons. And also at the same time, to keep your concept of self, if you do go into a casino and you do start winning money, you've got to set yourself a point of which you will stop gambling any further, in order to avoid monetary detriment. So, people set limits on themselves. So the only obstacles you will find are the ones that you set for yourself. But sometimes those particular limits are going to be there for a good reason. So if you were to go, let's say you go to Vegas and you go, right, I've got to pull numbers out of the air here. Let's say I've got 8,000 to gamble, and if I lose all of that 8,000, that's fine. I've still got money to get the things I need: food, fuel, electric, heating, other bills, anything like that. So you go in with that 8,000, and you lose that 8,000 within, let's say, an hour. It's at that point where you will make a decision. You will either decide to continue gambling with money that you will spend on things that you may need or other things in your life, or you will go, right, that's it, I've lost the 8,000, I'm going home. What you do from then on will essentially form up your algorithm as well. So if you then start spending money that you've cut into after you've lost that 8,000, there's a possibility, depending on your willpower, depending on your self-concept, where you may keep eating into that amount. So you go, oh, just another 8,000. Oh, just another 8,000. Might happen, might not. It depends on how you see yourself in relation to gambling. And this is how gambling problems start, because some people are on such a low frequency in their lives that something has usually triggered that gambling problem. Gambling addiction. I've used the word problem as if it's like a life or death situation, which some have made it so. To say avoid that low frequency money, it's not really the money that's a low frequency, it's more you. So if you were to go into that casino or into that place where you're going to be gambling money at such a point where you're not feeling great about it, or not even feeling great about yourself, there's a chance that you'll lose it straight away. And if you do win anything, because of your frequency, it may not be there for a long time. I hope that makes sense. Hazel, we were just talking about the frequency of gambling, as it were. Lucky asked if money is energy, is that low frequency money that we should avoid, or do we assign a value to it? Hell no, I couldn't do it. So in essence, I think the short answer to that question really is, it is you that assigns the value to that money, but it's not the value that comes up in a conscious thought. It's the value in, how you feel and what you believe in relation to what you do with that money. So if you were to go, oh, I'm going to gamble it, but I know I'm going to lose it, and there you go, you've lost it before you've even spent anything. Whereas if you go in, I'm pretty sure Jamal will put in that, he goes in, he may go to a casino and go, okay, if I lose it, I lose it. If I don't, I don't. Cool. So in a way, you leave it to chance. Unless you've been possibly manifesting a casino win or a huge amount of money, that may be the appointed time of when you win the jackpot. Or, you could have been consciously creating a brand new car. You'll then that could be the time where you win enough money to buy that car. But what you do next will dictate your frequency in relation to, let's say, getting that money or getting that car, because that's what you're putting in the algorithm. Always comes back to you with interest. So if you win that 65,000, then you blow it all on whatever else, the universe is going to come back and go, no, I'm not going to give you that 65,000 again, because look at what happened last time. I'm going to give you a smaller amount. Let's see what you do with that. Good luck, have fun. This fantasy football gambling is crazy. See, we have our football is your soccer, so we have a fantasy league for that as well. But we don't. I've not known for people to gamble on it. It's always been free here, so we don't really gamble. Yeah, I'm not a hardcore gambler. I don't enjoy it. Yeah, I tried the slots. I tried the roulette table, and I sort of I looked around. I looked at people at the bar, and there were there was a lot of sad people in that casino, and I didn't realize it at the time because this was some years ago, and I looked around and I went, this isn't where I want to be, so I left. It just so happened that the casino did catering at the time, so we had a little party there, as it were. But yeah, I looked around and went, this isn't the kind of place I want to be in. So, and that happens often naturally. Depending on the frequency that you're at compared to everybody else around you, you'll naturally either gravitate towards them or you'll be the same ends of a magnet where you just push each other away. And for me, that was that entire building. I just went, nah, I'm not here. Not here. Manifesting to feel like a new human in the morning. Are you ill, Hazel? Are you sick? I just realised I had chicken and I didn't eat it. Well, Hazel, get rested, like I told you the other day. Make sure you hydrate, please. This lemon and lime one is too good. Yes, I am telling you off because I know if I don't keep you in check. So I've got a couple of plans for the channel, the YouTube channel, which I will announce in the new year. I'm gonna start doing a different type of content. I might even release it unlisted and give the guys in this live a link. Just make a list of who was here, and then trial it from there. So yeah, I'm just trying a different direction at the moment. See how that goes. So I'm just looking at analytics from the last lives as well. But yeah, I'm going to keep doing the lives. The lives aren't going anywhere. At least not yet. But I've got a few ideas I've written down. So I will announce those. Covering One Piece content. Hang on. Let me look for something quick. Sean, do you want that in English or Japanese? Hold on. He might scream at this. Watch.
Was a man named Gold Roger, who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
My fortune is yours for the taking, but you'll have to find it first. I left everything I own in one piece.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for One Piece, the treasure that would make their dreams come true.
Yo!
Yayo, dreaming. Don't give it up, Luffy. Don't give it up, Solo. Don't give it up now, man. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
Yayo, 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 oh, oh. His name is Luffy.
That's Monkey D.
Luffy, king of the pirates. He's made of rubber.
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum. His name's Zolo, he's just like a samurai and a L-A-D-Y. Nami's not shy. Usopp's doing that marksman thing. Sanji's cooking, Chopper's doctoring.
Yayo, yayo, oh, oh. Set sail for One Piece. It's the name of the treasure in the Grand Line. Yayo, yayo, set sail for One Piece.
That is the only time that I'm covering One Piece content. Nerd mode activated. This cap. It's like an antenna. Look. What? I don't even... It's so it can be recycled with the bottle. Okay. Nerd mode activated. Is there a Japanese version of that one? There is. it's the new bottles that they've done it with. Like they put the silly thing. It's like it's so you can recycle them with the bottle. No, we can recycle them anyway. It's not like we throw them away separate. We just put the cap back on, squeeze it down so that all the air's out of it, and just throw it in the receptacle. Sorry, no, I'm ranting about bottle caps. Just I don't know. It's like Starbucks. Yeah, you got me going now. So when companies here started using paper straws and things, McDonald's did a new one on me today. They've got the caps for their hot drinks are now paper. I'm like, how am I supposed to drink through that? It's just going to fall apart in my face. Anyway, so they started using paper straws some time ago. Now, what Starbucks used to do, is they used to put a plastic straw in a little paper packet. But then when everybody started using paper straws, what they did is they put a paper straw in a plastic packet, which makes no sense because they're still using the same amount of plastic as they are paper. Lucky, I do apologise for my Britishness. The correct pronunciation for it is bottle, not butthole. But we don't often cross our T's, so we say bottle. Bottle of water. That's the stereotype anyway. But interestingly, my dialect comes from a mixture of places because I lived in a mixture of places as a child. But yes. I've got a butthole of water. That's going to be the thing now. That's going to be the thing. A butthole of water. Can I have a butthole of Coke, please? A butthole of milk. It's going to be my new thing. I'm going to go to Subway. I'm going to Subway tomorrow. And they'll be like, what drink would you want? And I'll be like, well, I want a butthole of Coke, please. And they'll be like, what the fuck? A what? A butthole of Coke. I'm trying to look for the Japanese opening of One Piece. I'm still laughing at butthole. Okay, I can't. I can't. I can't. I'm gonna have to record this. Let me make a note of this. Where's my notes? Right, I've noted that down. When I go to Subway. Oh, McDonald's do orange juice at breakfast time, so I'm gonna ask for a butthole of orange juice in the morning. Good night, Hazel. Thank you for appearing. Nice to see you. Get rested. And drink a butthole of water. How long have we been on? Hour and a half. Wow. So yeah, we need to find something else to talk about now. So we've had One Piece, we've had techniques, we've been through the SP stuff. If you want to know, if you want to hear any more about SP stuff, talk to me tomorrow. I'm joking. Uh, but no, going back to that, the SP is not the be all and end all. Yeah, it's seemingly a big thing, but there are other things going on in your life as well, just like they were, you know, before, during, and after the whole SP thing. You know, you worked during, you worked before, you worked after. You 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 pooped before, you pooped during, you pooped after. So yeah, it's always good to pay attention to other things at the same time. But it's not to say, you know, if you have particular feelings that come up about it, not to ignore them, because that's part of. I think that's part of preparing you for what's to come, or for what your ending will be. Um, this is why triggers come up, because when your triggers appear, you feel that tightness in your chest, and that's I see that as the old you dying. Let the old man die. And one saying I like to use quite a lot is everything screams when it dies. So it feels like you're screaming inside a little bit, even just for a short 10 seconds. And with that, the triggers get less hard. Is that the right word? Yeah. That's my experience anyway. I found that the more I put myself in triggering situations, the less I feel the actual trigger. But I've always been the kind of person to face my fears head on, or at least do my best to anyway. Put myself in a fearful place, and then that becomes your fuel to build the courage. Because without fear, there is no courage. So it's the holy shit, I'm going to die moments that teach you really how to live. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah, let's go around the room, have some questions, if there is any. Origami, welcome. Thank you for joining. I hope you've I'm not sure if you celebrate the holidays the same as we do you? If you do, then happy holidays. If not, then please accept my humble apologies. What's new with you, Origami? Ah, thank you. Thank you. Oh wow, 5 a.m. So you are about 6 hours ahead of the UK. Oh, you're up with a fever. That's quite a few people are sick this time of year. I blame retrograde. I'm not blaming retrograde. But I hope you get well soon. Stay hydrated. We have so far discussed a few topics. Lingering SP thoughts, different techniques, routines for success or for daily successes. The key point there would have been gratitude. Oh, Brendan's appeared. Hey, Brendan. Hope you're doing well. If you want to catch the replay, Brendan, as well, I did announce. So, okay. So it was Brendan that asked the question that I answered earlier. So if you want to catch the replay, you know. If you don't mind, could you please educate me on the origins of Christmas? The significance only that Jesus was born. Yeah, so the common reason for, you know, Christmas Day is it is the day that the Christian, you know, the man in the Bible, known as Jesus Christ, who was the son of the Virgin Mary and of the deity known as God. So that's the main reason for it. If I'm brutally honest with you, Origami, I don't know. I haven't really educated myself, so I think it's a good time for both of us to learn. So it can be traced back from what I do know. Was originally a pagan celebration, celebration of the winter solstice. And they celebrated with dancing, singing, large feasts to mark the start of longer days and more sun. The solstice was a symbol of the sun's resurgence, the end of winter and the rebirth of spring and summer. So essentially, it's a rebirth. So in the 4th century, the Christian Church adopted December the 25th as the official date of Christmas to coincide with pagan celebrations. The date chosen was to attract non-Christian followers. The name Christmas is a combination of the names of Christ and the word Mass. The Bible originally did not mention of the timing of Jesus' birth, so church leaders declared December the 25th as the official holiday. Is the day he rose from the dead not celebrated and revered? Actually, yes, it is. That is known as Easter. So we have in Christianity, over here anyway, I think it's practiced more in the Church of England version of Christianity. They have what's known as Good Friday, which was the day that Jesus was put to rest, I believe. And then we have Easter Sunday and Easter Monday when he supposedly rose from the dead. Allegedly rose from the dead, not supposedly, should I say. However, this is down to belief. I was raised in the Catholic Church, and during my teenage years, I had then decided that it didn't sit right with me, so I haven't been to church since. Maybe once or twice for funerals, but that's yeah, it's a little bit about Christmas. The Vikings, however, honoured the evergreen mistletoe for its role in the death of Balder, a god of light. Or Balder. I think it's Balder it's pronounced. The winter solstice starts on December 16th to January 14th. During this time, we do not eat meat because we tilt closer to the sun. Oh, that's quite interesting. I never knew. Thanks for sharing that, Origami. That's really good. I never actually knew that. Because we have the well, on the calendars here we have the summer solstice, which is June the 21st. It's not really celebrated, it's just marked. And it's the same with the winter solstice, because that starts here on December the 21st, according to our calendars. And, you know, that day in itself is not really celebrated. It just marks the time when the days begin to, the amount of light during the day begins to change. So the days will start getting longer. I've noticed it getting slightly darker in the times where I awaken. But I'm pretty sure it's always done that. So, you know, it gets dark before it gets really light. And then we have like daylight savings time and all kinds of things to mess with your heads. I just roll with it. All my clocks change on their own, so I don't notice. But yeah, it's always good to learn something different. Much like the celebrations in Christianity, the men go out and sing, and women indulge in geometry. So we do have a lot of similarities. Ah. I think more so over here. The men tend to go out and well, a number of the men, be it a minority, in my opinion, go out, drink, and then sing. But then the women do the same as well. You see everybody at the bars. Okay, cool. So yeah, autumn and spring equinox. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Day and nights are equal length. Well, the day is probably going to be a bit shorter because you keep your eyes closed for longer. You're welcome. Oh, that's a point. Tell me what you guys think of this. I'm just going to play it for you quick. Brendan, thank you for appearing. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you're well. And I'll see you again soon, sir. Brendan's first live. I think this is your first live as well, Origami, isn't it? First live here, anyway. Absolutely, Brendan. Thank you. Good to see you. Origami's first live. How does one vibrationally align with the burger? I think the quickest way is to put yourself in a position where you're about to buy it. Do I just visualize eating a burger? Now, do you want that burger to be free or purchased for you? I think that's the pertinent question for this one here. I'm going to be honest now. I'm actually hungry. Talking about burgers, I haven't had a burger for a while. Did I? No, I did. No, I haven't. I haven't. I don't really mind. Okay, so to vibrationally align with yourself with this burger, you could simply say, um, I did this once with somebody I spoke to last year, where I said, I'm definitely getting free breakfast tomorrow. Lo and behold, my team leader at work paid for breakfast for us the next day. Always easier with static things. Um, so you could simply decide that you're getting a burger. Now, let's channelize burgers together. Um, Naiche, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Um, so yeah, the quickest way to do that is to put yourself in a position where you're going to buy the damn burger. Uh, and it would just happen like that. Visualizing burgers. Brilliant. I love it. Literally made cheeseburgers for dinner tonight. See, origami. This is you are aligned. You are aligned. Yeah, manifested Naiche into the life. I think you manifested yourself into this life, my good sir. But nonetheless, thank you for coming. I have a few questions about dreams and SP. Do you have a few more minutes? Origami, please do ask away. However, whilst you're asking these questions in the chat, I'm going to take a very, very brief intermission. So do bear with me. Right, I'm here. I'm here. Thank you for bearing with me. Whilst I am here doing lives, I am still human, so nature had called. Let's not get into that. Right, so my fever dream was SP fighting with me over text, but even in the dream, I wasn't really emotionally reactive to it, which is good. Well done. All I responded was okay. Does this mean anything, or is it just a fever dream? I think the key question here is, does it mean anything to you? And I think with that key question, another question would be, how would an older version of you had reacted by comparison? Um, so what it seems like you're doing now is you've got yourself into a position where whatever happens with this person, you are okay, which is a good, if not the best place you can possibly be in. Because you're living, you're doing your thing. You've not got them on the pedestal. You've not got them on the pedestal. You're not depending on them to create a sense of happiness within yourself, because you're doing that on your own, which is the best thing you can do. So the fact that you responded to it, or you reacted in such a way that just went, okay. Essentially, that's telling the universe that you are worthy of that, and you are ready for it, in a sense. You put a second part in there, didn't you? I would also like to add that I have literally no thoughts about SP nowadays. Am I doing something wrong? Definitely not. Definitely not. Quite often, when you're not thinking about something, you're not creating any resistance to it, and everything takes the path of least resistance. You can test it on static things. So I've told this story a few times, where I essentially manifested a very costly piece of computer equipment. It's an all-in-one machine, and all I said was, I was sat in a room on my own, and I went, it would be cool if I had one of these at home, and then I forgot all about it. I didn't think about it. I didn't go, oh, I really want to get one. I'm going to look at on the websites for one, things like that. I just left it. 6 months later, it appeared. So no, you're not doing anything wrong at all. In fact, you're doing everything right. Does it mean anything to me? I don't really know, honestly. Okay, that's not a bad thing. Sometimes a lot of dreams we have, we assign meaning to them. To quote Bashar, it may sound harsh to you, but essentially life is meaningless. The only meaning life has is the one that we give to it. So let's say I cross paths with a black cat. That doesn't mean anything to me, but to the next person, it may mean 7 years of bad luck or something like that. It only has the meaning we assign to it. I'm not emotionally dependent on them. I just feel bad that I don't care as much as before. Well, okay, so you feel bad that you don't care as much as before. Okay, so I think the key question is, one of the key questions are, how would you feel when your specific person comes back to you, or comes to you? Would you, or would you feel would you feel great? Would you feel good about it? Would you feel blissful? Would you feel calm, peaceful? How would you feel? That's a good question to ask yourself now, I think. Thank you very much, Origami. I work with technology, so anything you do want to ask about it, please do. It's kind of my life in a way. I've spent so many years around it, and all my family come to me for all their equipment questions. This laptop here, I also manifested as well. So it's possible. It's possible. And I forgot all about that too. Forgot all about it. When they come back, I'm sure to get a dopamine surge. But I don't think I would be over the moon. I feel like I've lost the need for another person. You haven't lost the need. You've lost the you've gotten rid of the dependency. I mean, nobody really needs another person as such, because at least not to make them happy or to make them feel loved, because life will always give you what you first give to yourself. So if you feel like you don't need somebody, that's a good place to be, because you are self-reliant, totally independent, and knowing that you can make you happy is also getting to a point where other people know that you can make you happy, so they want to make you happy because you're making you happy as well. Recently, she texted me back and apologized. It was a pleasant surprise, but I wasn't over the moon. The no contact was for about a year. So that no contact was that time. I usually say to people, no contact is for you, not for them. That was that time to begin climbing that mountain, and that mountain is your conception of self. Change your conception of self and watch the world change around you. So as you start to become, let's say, Origami 2.0, the world around you is going, oh shit, he's climbing the mountain. It looks good up there. I'm going to join. So they're getting onto a point where they want to come up and join you. Some of them are absolute scoundrels. They're going to try and pull you down. You just got to let them people go, but you'll figure that out. And that no contact period is, in my opinion and in my experience, that time to, one, decide what you want, two, get clear on what you want, and three, start becoming what you want. So let's say, for example, let's keep to this situation. So your end goal would be marriage with your SP, right? So this is that no contact period is when you first start becoming a husband, and you will get challenges along the way. You might get other people come to you and go, oh hey, shall we just see how it goes for a while? Personally speaking, my response would be, I'm not into seeing how it goes. It's all or nothing for me. But it may be a learning curve to find out where you want to set your boundaries, what kind of behavior you will and won't accept. I simply don't accept people acting a fool around me. If you want to start messing around, then you mess around and find out somewhere else. Just a few months prior, I would have given anything for just a text. I don't even watch manifestation content or anything, just doing my thing. Exactly. I always say to people, you are in the most perfect place at the most perfect time. because I have not a single doubt in my mind that you have learned many lessons in that few months. One about yourself and two about the world around you. Tell me I am wrong. It will get to a point where you realize, well, you've sent your request, and you sat in the knowing that it's on its way to you. There will come a point where you simply go, I'm not gonna watch content anymore. I don't feel I need to. Whereas, so you're not in that state of lack anymore. It's usually when you're in a state of lack that you're consuming all of the content you can possibly get your hands on. And I'll be honest, I was watching SP videos from 5 in the morning till 5 at night, solid, even while I was at work. I'm not sure I am aware of a single person that I have met in the last 9 months that hasn't done that. But it often gets to a point when you're sat in the knowing what you know as well, because it's more about changing you, because you manifest what you are, not what you want. So when the time comes, when the appointed hour arrives, when that rose has grown, when the beer's ready, if you drink beer, you will either get what you want or something better. So let's say, your SP comes back. You've already got that apology, which is good. Congratulations. Proud of you. And then she comes back going, I want a full-blown relationship. Here's what I'm going to do. It sounds like everything that you want. But then you've also got somebody else making a similar proposal to you, going, I will give you all of that, plus 10 other things that you like. What are you going to go for? Because there's going to be times where you're going to have choices to make. And sorry, you're saying you grew out of the state of lack. Yeah, you do. Growth is growth. I mean, if anybody that's on this journey and they are not proud of how far they have come in the past 9 months, I want their names, because I will remind them of how proud they should be of themselves. Even if they've grown in the space of, even if they've been on it a week, they are guaranteed to be at least 10% better this week than they were the previous week, because they are learning. And the journey is about lessons, and there are a lot of them. There's going to be times where it looks like it all goes to shit, or there probably is times where it looks like it all goes to shit, but then it's like pulling back an arrow. Arrow's got to be pulled back before it hits target. If you're a keen archer, that would make so much sense to you. but it's it's one of those things where I myself have learned so many lessons, and you notice after some periods of time that you look at the events that are going on in the world around you in a slightly different perspective as well, which is it blows my mind every time. Blows my mind. During the choice period, honestly, whoever I find better suited to me, exactly, and only you will know what that is, Origami. Only you will know what that is. It will always give you what you first give to yourself. Oh, and Sean will agree with this. Learn how to fight as well. You can't worry about anything if you're learning how not to get your ass beat. Or get a dog. Yeah, so you're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you for asking. It's confused with embodying the person who has SP versus detachment. It's a bit of a paradoxical thing. Paradox, or is it a nuance? I'm trying to find the right wordings today. To dwell in the end, you know, what would you do if you already had it? You wouldn't be watching all the content. You wouldn't be going, oh, when's she going to text me? You wouldn't be going, oh, when am I going to get that apology? Because you've already got it. You know, when are we going to settle this disagreement? You've already settled it. It's about dwelling in the state where you've already got what you've wanted, what you want. So it's about holding on to that particular feeling as well. Now, don't get me wrong, states will change all the time. You might wake up one morning and go, I'm not feeling too great. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people in the communities now worry when they feel bad. They're like, oh, it's not going to happen now. I'm feeling bad. No, it's it's okay to feel bad once in a while. Just don't hold on to feeling bad. If you're constantly saying that, if you constantly go around saying that your life's awful, of course it's awful because you keep telling everybody. You know, so long as you're not it's okay. And I don't think people say it enough. It's okay to feel a bit shit at times. So long as you don't dwell and ruminate over it, you know you're okay, and it will always work out. Yeah. That's one thing. The choice period had proved challenging to me because being in the position to reject one of them was so hard for me. Necessary but hard. But it's also powerful as well because you also made a decision that resonated with you. And I'm going to trust by saying that whilst it didn't seem like an easy choice, your mind and your body automatically knew from the energy that you were getting from maybe them or maybe even yourself that you made the right one anyway. Yes, it's okay to feel shit. Everyone be running around toxic positivity now. Absolutely. There are so many people. Um, I'm trying to shy away from this, from making this point, but I've noticed a lot of YouTubers because you know, like yourself, Origami, I drowned myself in content that are going, oh, you just need to flip your thoughts. Okay, yeah, but at the same time, you also need to feel what's important to you. They were saying that there was a lady that she used to do a lot of SP content, and she did a couple of subliminals, which I listened to a long time. I say a long time ago, beginning of this year. I've forgotten her name. But she was heavy on affirmations, and she did a very good explanation of feeling the not so great feelings versus feeling the good stuff, and what many people refer to as purging. So she said, think of it like a glass full of oil which you are trying to fill with water. Um, So whilst you're filling the whilst you're putting the water in the glass, the oil is rising to the top and spilling out. So that's all the bad shit. The bad shit. So I've since I've heard that has made the most sense to me. So I've always used that analogy. Um, so yeah, it's like you've got a cup full of oil that you're filling with water. The more water you put in, the more oil that spills out. This talk with you is very comforting, Mr. No. I just want to let you know during this winter night, you've warmed my heart and thoughts. Thank you for that. You're very welcome, Origami. Thank you for sharing with me, and thank you for your kind words as well. Absolutely, Naiche, which is why when I say bad shit, I put it in quotations because it's always a matter of perspective. I usually say non-favourables, only where it's getting a little bit late here now. My vocabulary is slowly reducing. So yeah, Origami, my challenge for you is when you wake up tomorrow morning, find 3 things that you are grateful for. 3 things that you would like to express gratitude for. And continue doing that for the next 30 days. I find that gratitude for all the little moments of humanity helps me send them more frequently and regularly. Absolutely, and that's that's what works for you. Um, there's so many different ways that people use to center themselves, and keeping yourself present is always a good thing as well because it reminds you of what's around you. And put the damn phone down. So yeah. Noiche, we shall ride together. If it's 2 wheels in an engine, my friend, I'll ride with it. Despite having a ridiculously quick speed machine, I do like a cruise from time to time because I like I like seeing I like seeing what's around me. But I was saying some time ago that I do want to I want to ship my bike over to the States as well. There's a few racetracks there I want to do. So yeah, preferably 2 wheels on the ground and not in the air. That's in my mind that's not an ideal way to go. But now a lot of my friends have got cruisers and the adventure bikes, which are sometimes not as quick, but to me it doesn't matter. Like we're all there for the same reason. We just want to enjoy ourselves. So I don't care about who gets there in less than 10 seconds. I'd rather get there I'd rather get there alive and able to enjoy what I'm doing. Good night, Lucky. Thank you for attending. Thanks for coming to see us and spending time with us. Enjoy the rest of your holidays. Rest up, and I hope you get better soon. Buddy of mine rides the crotch rockets because he's got lower back pain. Well, yeah, it's what works for him. um, I found that low speeds on my bike begins to sort of hurt my elbows and wrists. But I think that's more due to my my body's infrastructure than anything else, or maybe the way I'm riding. Because I did try a few different things, and some things did work for a short period of time, but it's a lot of it's experimental for me. So, I mean, when I do the track days, I don't feel any pain. I don't feel any aches whatsoever. Probably because I'm moving all the time, like moving my body in like around the bike. Are baked beans on a baked potato with cheese actually good? In my personal opinion, no, because I'm the strange kind of Brit that doesn't eat baked beans. I, I do not like them. However, what is good on a baked potato is um, steak and cheese. I don't know if you eat pork, but pulled pork on a baked potato is also good. I understand that you may not eat pork for cultural reasons. Correct me if I'm wrong, please do. And I shall remember. It'd be embarrassing if I've asked you that question before, though, wouldn't it? Oh, I'll tell you what is good. Over here, the day after Christmas, we call it Boxing Day. It originally comes from um, boxing up things for charities. It's a bank holiday. So we often eat sometimes it's leftover meats from Christmas. Other times we buy new, but there's often baked potatoes involved. So quite often we put the turkey in there. We put the turkey in the baked potato, which is also good. It's good with gravy. I like strange food combinations. I'm one of those. Could you describe the taste of pork or steak? I've never been asked that before. I've never been asked. Um, how does one describe the taste of pork? It can be quite. I'm actually lost. Actually lost. Uh, Ronnie, I eat plenty of veggies. I eat. I'm a cauliflower and broccoli guy. So you put a bowl of that in front of me, and you will not hear from me until that bowl is empty. Uh, describe describe the taste of pork. Wow, you've got me on that one, honestly. Um, Sometimes it can be a bit salty. Sometimes, depending on how it's prepared. Um, at times it can taste a bit flat and sometimes a bit rubbery, but pulled pork's like almost shredded, and it's often got barbecue sauce in it. Steak is steak's basically a cheeseburger cooked a different way. I think that's the easiest way to describe it because it's all beef, isn't it? So it's all beef. Sour beef. Sour beef. Can you start with the texture and what taste you? Oh wow, wow. I can't remember the last time I actually had pork. Um, yeah, sometimes depending on how thick it's cut, sometimes it can feel a bit rubbery. And I've always found it a real challenge to describe the taste of meats because I just it's in my opinion the one kind of meat's not really like another. Not the usual kind anyway. So the usual kind of meats in my book are pork, beef, chicken, turkey, and duck. I might have missed one, but yeah, it can be quite fatty at times as well. It's dependent on how it's prepared because there's so many different ways of doing it. I've got an idea. Let's ask ChatGPT. Okay, so here's what AI says. Pork typically has a slightly sweet, savoury flavour with a richness depending on the fat content, often described as meaty, and can vary depending on the cut, with leaner cuts like pork loin tasting milder and fattier cuts like pork belly having a more pronounced richness. Some compare its taste to veal when cooked properly, and its flavour profile can include subtle notes of fruitness and umami. So there you have it. Some of pork's world of flavours includes sweet, fruity, and floral tones, clove, hazelnut, and mushrooms. So yeah, that's what AI says. Yeah, it's kind of a strange kind of sweet though, in my opinion, because my version of sweet is like like boiled sweets or chocolates or things like that. Let's try it. Let's see what it says for the taste of steak, shall we? Yeah, steak's generally quite juicy. Um, if you cook it properly, because in my opinion, this is my opinion. Don't quote me. If you have your steak well done, just eat the chicken. Just eat the chicken. Um, so the taste of steak is typically described as rich, savory, meaty, and juicy, with a robust, full-bodied flavor that can be enhanced by grilling or searing, adding a slightly smoky element. Yeah, that gives me the taste of steak in my mouth right now. The texture varies depending on the cut and cook level, ranging from tender and melt in your mouth to slightly chewy, with the fat marbling contributing significantly to its flavor and juiciness. So yeah, I never thought that anybody would ask me to tell them what certain meats taste like. So that's a new one on me. So thank you You've really got my brain going. That was a really good question. I quite like that. I've heard from some content creators that a pure beef diet is enough for life. Is it really true? Um, there are some nutrients that meat provides. For example, proteins, some carbohydrates, depending on the meat. Pork generally has no carbohydrates in it, and some sugars and things. But I think we need an equal balance of, meats and vegetables and things like that, because anything you can find out in the wild, I think, is what humans are designed to eat. Anything you can find in the wild, be it, fruits, vegetables, seeds of sorts. But there are certain routines you can undertake. For example, meat only. Um, the psychological effects of that, I'm not sure because I've not experimented. Um, I am medically required to moderate what I eat as a whole anyway, because I am a type 1 diabetic. So I have to couple my food with, doses of insulin. Um, I've been doing that for about 29 years, I think. 30 years. It'll be 30 years next month that I've been doing that for. So I cannot say whether or not that is a common fact. Maybe it just affects different people differently, as I expect most things would. Type 1 is not reversible. Although metaphysically it may be. It's usually type 2 that's reversible medically. I haven't tried. I'm quite okay with it. But no, type 1 is insulin dependent, so I have to inject. And that usually suggests that my pancreas is no longer functional. So I've got a spare part. But one thing I've always said about it is, it lives with me. I don't live with it. And I think that's the best way for me to go about it, because the way I look at it is I can do absolutely anything that anybody else can do. The only difference between me and the next person that doesn't have it is I need to inject in order to stay alive. But other than that, I can do pretty much anything that anybody else can do. If that person wants to go down the biggest zip line in the world, why the hell can't I do it? You know, I'm not going to stop myself from doing it. If I want to do it, I'll just go and do it. And that's how that goes. Everyone in India has diabetes. I notice. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the cooking ingredients you guys use out there tends to have a lot of different sugars and carbohydrates in there. Am I right in saying that you guys eat a lot, eat potatoes quite often as well, because they're quite heavy in carbs? I tried I tried a sweet chai once as well, and that was interesting. Yeah, very carb rich diet. It's I mean, it's not 100% bad, but see, yeah, that's usually what affects you guys. It's And there's always it's always good to have a balance. Thank you, Ronnie. On behalf of Origami, not on behalf of myself, because I know that was directed to him. Let's give that a refresh. Right, I think we'll give it maybe 10, 20 more minutes and then we'll wrap it up. Oh wow, haven't changed the. Do you think that's a survival mindset, or is it just is it is it just cultural programming? I know it's easy to, once you're in the habit already, it's easy to follow it. Because I know a lot of what we may call Indian food here is in fact westernized. I'm pretty sure I might be wrong, but I think the korma is, for example, like the chicken korma, because they use a lot of cream in that, don't they? I'll have to cook for you my world famous macaroni cheese. And I've been doing a new so I like to do spaghetti bolognese. So if you don't know what that is, Origami, spaghetti bolognese is traditionally Italian. Um, it's often the use of beef mince, tomato sauce, and spaghetti. Now, what I do is I like to make my own red wine and beef stock sauce. So it's not quite a bolognese. Um, and then cook the pasta in that. And I put a bit of red wine in there as well because I like cooking with red wine. So I've got beef stock and red wine in there, and sometimes a bit of beef seasoning. So your basic salt, pepper. I've got Cajun chili flakes in there as well. Um, and then I just put the mince on top of that, and then coat it with cheese. Yeah, I started doing that only a few days ago. Was it a few days ago? About a week ago, I started doing that. But I had enough to cook it twice, so I tried it a second time just in case I was being silly. But it's actually really good. It's like traditional snack food here in the UK is cheese on toast. So you basically just toast 2 slices of bread and put a load of cheese on it, and melt the cheese. So what I've started doing is putting chicken seasoning on it. And it actually tastes really good. I quite enjoy it. But again, I like strange foods and foods that don't usually get eaten. Um, Spices, I'm a bit here and there with. No one really knows how cheese was made. I honestly think it's the same for honey as well. I think there was a guy that went round tasting the excrement for all kinds of different insects, wondering whether it was good or not. I think that's how honey came about. I honestly think that that's how honey was developed. I honestly think that that's the thing. Imagine what the first person who discovered milk was. Are you killing me, man? I, I don't want to get into that kind of conversation. But yeah, from milk, like, came most kinds of chocolate as well. So it just has a domino effect of what it could have been. And they didn't have the machines to do it then either. He just comes out with with a silver bucket and he goes, I got this. It tastes nice. It tastes good. Where did you get it from? Oh, the cow over there. What were you doing to the cow? I can't explain it right now. Oh wow. 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 Oh yeah, because you got goat's milk as well, haven't you? This one's a different this one's a different shade of white. This one's a different shade of white. Where did this one come from? I went up the mountain and found a goat. Why did you get this? Why did you get this liquid from it? Well, I ran out of water. I think that's the only logical explanation. You went up the mountain, ran out of water, found a goat. That's the only thing I can think of. It's climbing a mountain, ran out of water, found a goat. What else could there be? What else could there be? Oh wow. 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 Jeez. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, I've got a few more plans for the channel. I was literally just looking at it now. It's looking a bit bare at the moment, so I need to get some more content sorted. I've got another video on the way. I'm gonna slightly change. Well, not change, but put some new things in there. And I want to see how it goes, just to keep it interesting. So I will announce some stuff in about 4 days' time. Once I've got the direction I want it to go in, and it should be fun. But until then, I'm going to wrap this up for today. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for helping me grow. And thank you for everybody. Thank you to everybody I have connected with this year. It has been amazing. It has been a hell of a journey. And there is still plenty more good stuff to come. I promise you. Can't promise you when, can't promise you how, but I can promise you that. So, be good. Be careful. Rest up. Keep hydrated. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for your time.